All right, let's talk about a hidden power, a secret code that's hiding in plain sight in the words you use every single day. And I promise, once you see it, you're never going to look at reading the same way again.
So, let's just dive right into the heart of this mystery. Deep inside our language, there are these tiny, powerful little engines that can drive a word's meaning forward, backward, or, completely throw it in reverse. I mean, really think about that for a second. What if just a couple of letters at the start of a word could flip joy to sadness, or shift something from happening right now to happening way in the future? It sounds kind of like magic, right? But it's actually a core part of how English works.
And the answer, the secret engine we're talking about, is the prefix. It's this small group of letters that you tack onto the beginning of a word and bam, it packs this huge punch, totally transforming the word it's attached to.
I absolutely love this phrase. Prefixes aren't just sitting there quietly. Nope, they are active, powerful, meaning manipulators. They literally grab a word and twist it, flip it, or just point it in a completely new direction.
So how did these little manipulators actually pull this off? Let's look at a few examples, and you'll see just how powerful they are and why it's so important to get a handle on them.
Okay, let's take a super simple word. Happy. We all know what that feels like. But just add "un" to the front, and you've completely flipped its meaning. You've made its exact opposite with just two little letters. How efficient is that?
Or how about the word view? Stick pre on there, and all of a sudden you've become a time traveler. It's not about seeing something now, it's about seeing it before it even happens. A movie preview, a book preview, it's like a little window into the future.
And check this out. This shows how a prefix can totally reverse an action. Connect is all about bringing things together. But disconnect does the complete opposite. It just tears that meaning right apart, severing the link.
Look, this is so much more than just some boring grammar lesson. Seriously, understanding prefixes is basically like getting a language superpower. It means you can grow your vocabulary like crazy, figure out words you've never even seen before, and just become a way more confident, skilled reader. Okay, let's get out this secret code book. Because once you start seeing these patterns, you'll spot them everywhere. A lot of these have been around forever, passed down from old languages like Latin and Greek, which is why they pop up in so many different words.
First up is probably one of the most common jobs a prefix has, making opposites. These are the ones that basically just scream not. Just look at these. A few simple prefixes, un, dis, in, im, and suddenly we have the power to create tons of opposites. Think about it. Fair becomes unfair. Agree becomes disagree. Correct becomes incorrect. It's a system.
Next up, my personal favorites, the time travelers. These are the prefixes that actually bake a sense of time, either before or after, right into a word's DNA.
So here's the deal. Anytime you see pre at the start of a word, it's a huge clue that something is happening before. Preschool is the school you go to before big kid school. A preview is what you see before the main event. It's a super consistent hint.
And yeah, on the flip side, you've got post. This little guy always signals something that comes after. If you postpone something, you're deciding to do it after you originally planned. A postgraduate student, that's someone who is studying after they've already graduated. See how that works? All right, let's get into a really practical tool you can use. Because, and this is important, not every word that looks like it has a prefix actually does. So to avoid those tricky traps, you've got to become a decoding detective.
Right, here's the catch. You got to be careful. Take the word uncle, for example. It starts with un, but that's not a prefix there. Same with a word like disgust. So how in the world are you supposed to tell the difference?
Well, there's a super simple two-step test anyone can use. First, just mentally chop off the part you think is the prefix. Then, step 2, look at what's left over. Ask yourself, is that a real word all by itself? If it is, congrats, you found a prefix. If not, it's a false alarm.
Here it is in action. Look at unhappy. You take off the un, and you're left with happy. Yep, that's a real word. Check. But now try uncle. Take off the un, and you're left with clé. Clé is, well, it's not a word. So test failed. It really is that simple. So with this new knowledge and that super easy test, you now basically hold the master key to understanding words on a way deeper level.
And that's really the big idea here. Prefixes aren't just some dusty old grammar rule. They're keys, And every single one you learn doesn't just unlock one word, it unlocks the meaning of dozens, maybe even hundreds of words you haven't even met yet.
And that kind of brings us to this final thought. Prefixes teach us a really powerful lesson. What comes first can change everything that follows. And that's not just true for words, is it? In language and in life, beginnings really matter.
So we'll leave you with this question. You have the key now. You can start decoding the language all around you. So as you go through the rest of your day, what words will you unlock first? Thanks for tuning in.